Yo's me, boy, Shonen Boy here today. I'm here today to talk about the latest chapter of One Piece, chapter 1070, The Most Powerful Beings. So just straight into this video. So we started this chapter with the cover page, and it's the forming of the MADS organization, the Mad Scientists organization, with Dr. Vegapunk, Judge, and Caesar, and also Queen, and also this lady in the background that we don't really see. She's got her backs to us, but the designs of the characters are very interesting. Dr. Vegapunk is, his standard design, but his head is not as big as it is when he met Dragon. It's a bit smaller. I don't know. I'm pretty sure he already ate the brain fruit, and his head is starting to grow. I don't know when he actually, ate the brain fruit, but I'm pretty sure it was in his younger years. Yeah. And then we see our Judge, and our Judge's design is very different from the Judge we know now. His hair is all spiked up, and his eyebrows are, a bit, unique. I didn't really expect his eyebrows to be like that. I thought it to be like Sanji's, and and he's a bit slimmed down. Judge's design is, very shocking. Then we move on to, Caesar, and Caesar, he looks exactly the same. He's, I don't think he ate the gas fruit just yet. He looks like the dorky scientist guy, he's looks like Caesar. And then we got Queen looks like a full-on rock star, and he has like the wavy fiery hair, and he's like slimmed down, and he looks really cool. I like Queen's design in his younger years. So yeah. And the chick in the background, I'm pretty sure that's Stussy. A lot of people have been saying it's Stussy, because Stussy sound was a bit sus, because she seemed like she knew Dr. Vegapunk, and she seemed like she knew about Egghead Island, and she seems very intelligent. So it wouldn't surprise me if she was part of this organization. So yeah. But moving on to the start of this chapter, and we see, Luffy in his Gear 5 state going up against Rob Lucci in his awakened form, and Sentomaru is on the ground, and he's bleeding out, and he doesn't look very good right now. So yeah, so he was about to block Rob Lucci's attack, but he couldn't, block it in time, and that's why he got cut with Rob Lucci's attack. So yeah. And then we see, Luffy. Luffy in this chapter, it goes full-on Looney Tunes, and he's spinning around like the Tasmanian Devil, from Looney Tunes, and he goes full-on, Bugs Bunny type of, shit going on, and and it's honestly really funny, and I would honestly like to see this in the anime when the anime gets to this part, because it's going to be really cool to see this in the anime style, him zipping around and all that sort of stuff, and I really want to see Gear 5 done right in the anime, because Gear 5 is such a very unique power up for Luffy, and it's very crazy, and and Toon Force and Looney Tunes, and it's very crazy, and Luffy is so unpredictable in this state right now, and he can basically do anything right now, and his imagination is going wild with this fruit. So yeah, so he's battling Rob Lucci, and he's fighting him, and Rob Lucci's nowhere near Luffy's level. He's trying to fight Luffy, and he's so unpredictable, and Lucci is trying to go after Sentomaru, and Luffy just beats him out of the way, and and a lot of people were, trying to, hype up Rob Lucci because he was awakened, and a lot of people were saying he's top 10, or he's better than Kaido or something like that. And I'm like, whoa, okay, yeah, I highballed him as well in my last video. I said he was in the top 10, but realistically, he's probably in the top 15, strongest characters of One Piece, and I would say he's first commander level, but underneath Katakuri. I'm pretty sure Katakuri could, beat Rob Lucci, but that would be a really cool fight to see, Rob Lucci versus, Katakuri, but Kaido, Big Mom, or any of those really high combatants would destroy Rob Lucci. And in this chapter, Luffy destroys Rob Lucci, and I like this part where like Luffy is like going gigant, and he's trying to like bite down on like Rob Lucci, and and even Rob Lucci can't escape the Looney Tunes, because you can see his like imprint on the wall, and it looks very funny. And Sentomaru's like trying to help out Luffy, but he's like very like he's bleeding very badly, and he can't really do much against Rob Lucci. Not Frankie, Chopper, and also Jimby are carrying Atlas and also Bonnie away from the battle and trying to get back to the lab, and they're going to take the vacuum rocket, which is very cool. And then, and we also have all these other scientists, all these other, civilians, I guess you could say, that live in Airkid Island, and they're trying to get away from the battle that's happening with, Rob Lucci and Luffy. And we also see the Seraphim in battle as well, and they're pretty cool. We get to see, Mihawk, slice a bunch of, government agents up, and they look really cool. I don't know what artificial devil fruit Mihawk has, but I'm pretty sure he has one, because they do go over devil fruits in this chapter, but we don't know what devil fruit he has just yet. A lot of people have been throwing out, he might have the, the dice fruit, Mr. One's fruit, that'd be pretty cool. He might have, a different, devil fruit from maybe the Doflamingo family, because, Jimby's Seraphim has, a fruit from, the Doflamingo family, Senor Pink, and you can see him in battle, and he's like, pulling up the, the ground, and attacking people with the ground, and he can swim and do all the things that Senor Pink can do. And they're all wicked strong. The Seraphims, as they should be, because they were created by Dr. Vegapunk, so they should be strong. And they also apparently in this chapter they're not at full power. They just in their at their they're at the kid state, and as they grow older and as they mature, they will grow stronger and stronger into the strongest beings. And that's what this chapter is like, says about the Seraphims. As they grow older and as they mature, they will become even stronger than they are now. So that's pretty scary. And all the Straw Hats are like, what have you unleashed, Dr. Vegapunk, like, what have you done? Like, these are Seraphim are very powerful. And they also go over the devil fruits, and they say Dr. Vegapunk says that, like, Zoans are the easiest to make, manufacture, because you can just take a animal and get the lineage factor or the DNA from that animal, and then make it into a devil fruit, and then bam, you have a Zoan devil fruit. And then when it comes to Paramecia devil fruits, it's a little bit tricky, but Dr. Vegapunk did crack it with his own with his own blood, and that's with the Seraphim with the green blood that's going through their like veins, and you can see that they have like this green blood going through their like veins, I guess you could say. And it has and you can see it in this chapter where like the Boa Seraphim does her like hard fruit, and turns everyone to stone. And I love it how everyone on like Twitter was like FBI open up, like you shouldn't be attracted to this, kid. But I'm pretty sure it's just like that, adorable, attraction, like, how children are adorable. I'm pretty sure that's how it is. I don't know if they actually, like, love, Boa as, like, a kid. Who knows? But it was very, like, I loved, all the debates on, Twitter about this, part in the manga. Yeah. Then we got, And then, Dr. Vegapunk also talked about low gears, and he tried his hand at low gears, but he couldn't replicate the low gears. But he also, but he's done it with, with Kizaru's, lasers. So I guess he did technically, recreate the low gear fruit, but it's not, but because, Dr. Vegapunk's a perfectionist, it wasn't, a one-to-one sort of like creation. And the only time we've ever seen him do a full-on creation of like a with a special Devil fruit is Momonosuke's fruit, the one that took 20 years from Kaido's fruit. And he says that the special Devil fruits, the mythical Devil fruits are very, very hard to recreate. I don't think it would take him a lot longer to recreate those types of Devil fruits, because he would need more resources and all that sort of stuff. So yeah. So that's basically what he's talking about, and I love how Frankie brings up Senor Pink, and he's talking about how no two people can have the same Devil fruits at the same time, and did Senor Pink die, because a lot of people were questioning, did Senor Pink die, or is that an artificial Devil fruit? What's going on? Why does the Jinbe Seraphim have his power? And Dr. Vegapunk says, no, we just took a blood sample from him, and we made his Devil fruit, an artificial swim fruit for the Jinbe Seraphim. So yeah. Then we get into basically we see all the Seraphim battling the CP agents, and the Boa Seraphim turns them all to stone, and we see the Kuma Seraphim use the airs of shock, and it looks really cool. And they're talking and they all talk about how these Seraphim are really powerful, and that they are at their kid state right now, but as they will mature and as they grow older, they will become even more stronger and more powerful. And I'm pretty sure we'll see more of the Seraphims with different seven warlord Seraphims, because I'm pretty sure he made all of the warlords. I'd love to see the Doflamingo Seraphim. That would be really cool. And maybe the and I would love to see maybe the Law, because Law was part of the Seven Warlords, or maybe it's just the standard Warlords like Mihawk and Boa and Jinbe and Doflamingo and Kuma, and those are the those are the seven Warlords that they created, and it wasn't the every single Warlord, because that'd be a bit hard to get their blood and everything like that. But they're very powerful, and yeah. And we also see, Luffy, use Gigant and form where he's trying to bite down onto, Rob Lucci, and it's very funny, honestly, because he tries to bite down on Rob Lucci, and he bites down, and he bites down on all the rubble, and Rob Lucci gets away, and then he shoots all of the rubble at Rob Lucci, which is honestly, this is a very unique and interesting fight, and Luffy is such an unpredictable fighter in this form, and I love it. It's very unique, and I think Luffy, his fighting style has got him very wacky and Looney Tunes, and it's gonna be really fun when this it's all animated, and we get to see how this all goes down when the anime gets to this part. So yeah. So Rob Lucci dodges Luffy's attack, and he goes for a WWE type of ring sort of thing, where he bounces the one of the pipes, and he also he grabs spectacles. I don't know how Luffy does this, but he grabs spectacles and he puts them over his eyes, and then he shoots himself into Rob Lucci, and Rob Lucci gets hit in the stomach, and he's just ugh, and it's bro, Rob Lucci, holy shit, and he gets literally bodied at this at this part, and he goes down for the count, and Luffy defeats Rob Lucci, and it's just like, wow, like Rob Lucci is nowhere near Luffy's level, and it's just like, holy shit, And, this is a really good, sort of gauge of where Luffy is right now. He is definitely Emperor level. Like, you don't just, roll up on Luffy and think that you can take him on. Like, honestly, like, yeah. And I love this part between Boa and also Jinbe. Jinbe says to Boa, it's great to see a nice version of Boa Hancock. And I love how like Boa says, you insolent dummy, I'm just following my orders, baka. Like she's full on like tsundere, and I'm just like, oh my god, do like the Seraphim have their own personalities, or is this the personality of Boa when she was a kid? Like, and these Seraphim are, tall. They're really, big. And, they're bigger than Jinbe. And they're, I don't know how big they are, but, like, I'm pretty sure Atlas is a little bit bigger than the Seraphims, but they're, like, a little bit smaller than, Atlas. And they're pretty, strong. And I just love this part between, Boa and also Jinbe. It's funny. So, yeah. And then we get into, Luffy leaves with, Jinbe and also Chopper, and they get into the vacuum cannon, and they shoot up to where the lab is, and Sentomaru, stays behind, and he's going to fight, Rob Lucci. But Rob Lucci is down right now, so I'm guessing he's fighting Kaku and also Stussy. So, yeah. And it's funny that Luffy listens to Sentomaru because, Luffy, he doesn't really listen to very many people, but he listens to Sentomaru, and he actually goes with with his crew. And Bonnie wakes up, and she's like, who are you? What's going on? Like, because Luffy goes old. He goes out of Gear 5, and he goes old, and I guess that's like the side effects of like, Gear 5 is that Luffy grows a bit older every time he uses Gear 5, maybe, who knows. There has to be some type of drawbacks when it comes to Gear 5, but look, we'll have to wait and see what the drawbacks of Gear 5 are. But it seems like, Luffy just gets, old. Yeah. And then the vacuum cannon shoots up between the tubes, and they get to where the lab is. And we see that Luffy is fine. He gets back to his own state, and and also Rob Lucci's up now. He's fine. He's just got a band. He's got like a band-aid on his cheek, and he seems like he's fine. Like honestly, Rob Lucci recovered really quickly, and there is a time skip. There's a little bit of a time skip between them getting into the vacuum cannon and Rob Lucci getting up, and it seems like Kaku versed Sentomaru, and Sentomaru is like out cold, and he's down for the count. So yeah. And then we get to the very end of the chapter where we see, all the Seraphims, underneath the command of the CP0, and we see how big they are, and they're pretty big. Like the Seraphims are pretty big compared to, the CP0 members. Yeah. And like the Kuma Seraphim is like gigantic, like he's like bigger than all of them. So yeah, they basically they did some experiments with the gigantification and and pacifism technology and Lunarians. So they've got all that type of shit going on in them, and they have like the green blood and the artificial devil fruits. Like these Seraphim are like crazy, and yeah, and it seems like Dr. Vegapunk is going to join the Straw Hats. He's going to go on to the ship with them, and Nami is against it. Usopp is for it, and obviously Frankie is for it as well. And Sanji's like, release us, please. Like you kept us stuck in this position. Can you release our boots? And Robin doesn't really give a shit, honestly. So yeah, and Bonnie she's still out for the revenge. She still wants to, kill Dr. Vegapunk, for turning her dad into a cyborg, and and she still wants, Dr. Vegapunk to change, her dad back, and if she doesn't, she's going to kill him, which is, very like, don't make her angry, but yeah. And then we see Kizaru, and Kizaru is on his way to Egghead Island, and I love how serious Kizaru is in this chapter. He's like, okay, if on paper this this should be easy, or sort of thing going on, but if the if the Straw Hats think it's going to be easy to get away, they'll be mistaken. Bring every single battleship to Egghead Island, as many as you can, and I'm pretty sure those battleships are going to come from the G14 base, and we're probably going to see a bit of Sword and Shield versing each other because they don't like each other. But yeah, but it's very interesting, and it's going to get very chaotic very, very soon. And this is turning out more like Sabaody Archipelago, where Kizaru coming in, and we have Sentomaru, and we have the Seraphim, and it's very it feels like a Sabaody all over again. Rayleigh isn't there. Rayleigh isn't there to help the Straw Hats escape. So who's going to? I don't really think that anyone's going to really help the Straw Hats. I think that they're going to get out of this situation. But it's going to be it's going to get very chaotic very, very soon, because Kizaru is coming, and he's bringing all the battleships, and it's going to surround the Egghead Island, and this is going to be get very chaotic very, very soon. So yeah, but this is the end of 2022 chapters for 2022, because we're going to go on break next week, and I don't think there's going to be a chapter before the New Year's. So yes, so this will be the last chapter, and the last two chapters were very, very good. I very enjoyed these two chapters. There was a lot going on. Last week's chapter was very interesting. I really liked it. Talking about the Devil Fruits and how they came into existence, and the Sun God Nika, and all the lore, and that was dumped on us. Last week's chapter was very cool. I liked that. If you want to research that chapter a little bit more, O'Hara did a very good video on that chapter. Two very good videos. I'll link them down below if you're interested. I love those videos, and I love O'Hara's videos because they're very they're very scripted and very complex, and they're very cool, and I like his style of videos. So yeah. But anyways, this is your boy Shonen Boy signing out. Like and subscribe, comment down below. What did you think about this chapter? Did you like this chapter? Did you dislike this chapter? And what do you think about the Seraphims? What's your opinion about them? What do you think about Kizaru coming to Egghead Island? Are you excited? And what do you think about Luffy's Gear 5 state? Do you think it's a bit too wacky and zany, or do you think it suits Luffy and the whole Looney Tunes aspect to Gear 5? And where do you put Rob Lucci? Is he in the top 10, or is he in the top 15 strongest characters of One Piece? And where do you sort of put him in the first commander level? And yeah, so tell me down below. And until next time, I'll talk to you guys later, and have an awesome day.